curious because I am curious. I know last week we kind of went over the smart numbers, which kind of led us into the text codes. I want to know if anyone went in to create a text code or anything like that. That's right here, that call and text capture. Did anyone attempt to do anything last week after we did our meeting? Do you understand that client's journey? And I know we went over the smart campaigns, and I have on my note because I knew I was missing to forget to go over something. And that is, we know all these smart campaigns, obviously it may, depending on where they're at, it's going to text, email aggressively for a new lead. Once they start responding, they move over to an active lead. Their smart campaign completely changes. Obviously, in a client, it's going to be more tasks for you to do. So I forgot, because it's pretty important, when you come over to your profile and you come over to this settings icon, this is going to help you decide when you want to receive those emails. It should be emailing you every day based on the activity you have going on. This up here is just lead privacy when you upload leads. If you want to go on vacation and you don't want to get those emails, call these 10 people today. You're like, I'm on a boat, leave me alone. Go into that settings, click that you're on vacation. It won't be sending you those morning emails of things you need to be doing. I don't think you guys have the option to place out of rotation. Jen does. Just let me know if you do, because class I did this week, they didn't. Only the admins do. Also, it's going to give you tasks. It's wonderful. So the smart campaign is not just trying to work your leads for you, but it's also giving you tasks to do to help cultivate these leads. One of those tasks may be call, don't leave a voicemail. And then, 2 days later, it may say call, leave a voicemail. So there's a lot of tasks that it's going to try to get you involved, depending on where they're at in their journey, the behaviors they're doing, all of that. But this is, prospect, new lead, active lead. These are the people that they are focusing on to give you tasks on what to do. This is by default. It's trying to get you to make 10 calls a day. This is the time, a default. So you should be receiving an email from kvCORE every morning at 8 a.m. of things that you should be doing to your leads. And right now, our pipeline is not super full because we've only had it a couple weeks. But just know at, a month down the road, when we get back from R4 and we turn on, our pay-per-click campaign again, you're going to start getting more leads. And it seems simple right now, but within 3 months, you're going to have hundreds of leads inside of your system that you're trying to work. kvCORE is trying to make that super simple for you by giving you tasks of what you should be doing, while it's also working in the background, trying to convert these leads into active, into clients. But this is where the number of calls to create for you to do every day. Right now, it may not be 10 because we don't have, that amount of leads in there. But in a couple months, you're going to be, I am overwhelmed, blah, blah, blah. Maybe you want to say, I'm willing to commit to 5, and you can change that to 5. And I'm not like Heather and wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I have kids. I don't go to bed until 3. Maybe I want that email to come at 9. That's when I'm willing to start doing stuff. You can decide on when you want that email to come to you, how many calls you're willing to commit to, and really embrace the system and let that kind of be your power hour kind of, idea of calls to do and things to really help you work all of the leads that you're getting. These are holidays. So if you don't want that email to come in on Christmas because you're not going to be calling people on Christmas leads, then maybe you don't want those emails. So you can come over here and go ahead and click on holidays. That way you're not getting those emails on those days. So you have that option, but I did forget to go over that. So I had it in my notes. Do this first thing because I knew I was missing something towards the end of last week. And then I got off, and an hour later, I'm like, I forgot to go over the settings. So is everyone getting these emails or not yet? We just want to make sure these are coming straight from KV Core. If anybody is getting these emails, and usually that would be because you have like a pipeline already of new leads that are coming in from Remax. If you could send me where it comes from, that way I can share with everybody. We want to make sure, you know, by default, they're probably going into your spam folder or promotions folder. I want to make sure everybody knows what email this is coming from so that we can make sure to add it to our contacts so it comes to our inbox and we don't miss these. So if anyone is getting these, please, if you could share or put it in the chat so we know what email they're coming from, so we know to add those to our contacts. But that is in your agent settings. Again, you're going to click up top where your name is. You're going to go to profile, and then you're going to go right here to settings, and then that'll show you where all of that is. And I am curious if there are any questions regarding what we've kind of covered, any hurdles, any questions that you may have on what we've covered in the past before we go into the landing pages and squeeze pages, which is really about lead gen, but you really should have that strong foundation of the last, 3 weeks of everything we've kind of covered so far. Anything? Feel free, unmute yourself.
Heather, it's
Yeah.
Nancy. It's Nancy Burnup.
Hi, Nancy. I just see a blue screen.
I know it's because you don't want to see me. My mohawk hair this morning.
Oh, you can make yourself a cat in Zoom. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's true.
So what questions do you have?
I actually got my first lead. I had no information except for the guy's name and email address.
Okay.
Is there a place I need to go to see what he is even asking about?
Yes, absolutely. When you click on a lead, you'll see from like that dashboard right here, all of my leads. I can see what properties they're looking at. When you actually click on a lead and you scroll all the way down, it goes from when they started, and it's going to be everything that is happening during this journey. You'll see this one is a new lead. So that's where KV Core is emailing and texting, probing, asking questions, trying to get them to respond and engage for them to turn into an active lead. And then it's not as aggressive in probing and asking questions. Let's see here. They try to do a validation run, trying to pull in a phone number. When I pulled in mine, it says my job was Remax websites. I thought that was hilarious. No idea where they got that, but it was pretty funny. They're going to try to even find out where these people work. It's crazy. I can come down.
So it's
here.
working in the background?
Yes, it's trying to do a whole validation, finding out everything about them. You'll see they have been verified. This number, so it looks like he has maybe unsubscribed but it's not blue, or it's not red. Usually that would be they've unsubscribed. Maybe they haven't responded yet. So you see like on the far left side, that's the validation, where the lead came from. It's as they begin their journey, KV Core is going to rate them. They're going to give them a star rating based on, are they going on the website? Are they responding to emails and text and all that? You can, of course, come in here and override whatever KV Core has and mark them as a different star rating, because you can sort by stars. A lot of agents will do that, when they're drinking their coffee, who do they want to respond? They'll sort by the star rating. But once you change the star rating, KV Core is going to leave it alone. They feel you know best. Here is tasks that the system wants you to do. This is the future touch points of what it's going to do. And just know, along this journey, the new lead is where those behavior analytics, the smart campaign, it's super aggressive, probing, asking questions. Once they convert to new lead, the smart campaign is completely going to change. It won't be as aggressive because now they've responded to you. They're going back to the website. Now they're an active lead. It's going to be giving you more tasks to do. But you can see the future touch points and what the system is going to be doing. You can X those out. You can come over here. You can change. Right now it's new lead buyer. Once they interact with you, that's going to automatically change to active lead buyer, drip campaign. It's not really a drip campaign though. It's a smart campaign because it will be giving you tasks to do as well. Those are those emails we just went over. But here, if you do talk to somebody, or maybe you have someone in your MLS that you have set up in your prospect to do searches and send property alerts, you can set up property alerts for anybody in your system, or maybe someone that you already have inside of your MLS. You can go in here. It's going to basically be like searching the MLS. You can set the alert. You can save and send it immediately. They can have two. They may already have one. You can edit what they have. You can add another one. It's really just like, searching the MLS.
Okay.
And let's see. Oh, going back.
I have a question.
Yes.
I've been getting these emails, long lists of people. I have no idea, and it's coming from KV Core. It's coming into my email. I have no idea what it is. I haven't uploaded anything into KV Core yet. I was getting ready to do that this weekend. So
Mhm.
why am I getting these long lists of people?
If you could forward that, that might be helpful in knowing what that is. I don't know if that's that daily email.
Yeah, that's
Maybe-
what it is. It says it's a daily email, but it's got a big long list of people. Where are they coming from?
They're coming from probably Booge. When you look at any of those people, it should have the source. So
But I didn't
anybody,
have Booge. I didn't do Booge.
but you would have received leads from Remax in the office, and those would have ended up in Booge.
Okay.
And basically every system we've ever had within Remax, those leads from Reliance, from eNeighborhood, from homes.com, from Booge, every system we've ever had within Remax, as long as you've been with Remax, it has always transferred all of the leads you've gotten to the new platform. So if you'll see on the source, Booge CRM. So that's like,
Am I
okay,
supposed to do something with those? I mean, are those active leads that I'm supposed to do something with? I mean,
it probably just because you don't have a lot of new leads, it just sees that they're a lead maybe, and it's trying to tell you 10 people maybe you should reach out to, see if they're still interested in buying or selling.
yeah, there's like 20 people on the list. It's crazy.
Yeah, in your settings, you can, change the time or change how many names.
Okay, I see. Thank you.
And then once you mark them as completed, you get a new batch of names and stuff. But that's ideally what it's for. I didn't think it was going to send new leads. So I guess that answers that. Yes, it's just going to find 10 people attached to you for you to contact. Because it wants us to do work, right?
Okay,
But
So-
that's good to know. So if you have where that email came from,
I'll send it to you.
that, or you can also go right in there and put it in the chat, but you can send it over too. And let's see, setting up your email is also in your in your profile. Where is it? Down here, signature. And you want to include signature, and it's not letting me do anything. So is that what is happening to you when you try to put a signature in there?
I
I
have
had that issue.
Heather, that's me. Milt.
Right. So you're like, nothing's happening to me.
I have my signature and then I would have my logo that goes with it. And
Yeah,
I
this
just,
isn't letting me do anything in there. So I don't know. I thought we were just go right in there and I just copy the HTML from my Gmail, but it's not letting me do anything in
Yeah,
that texture box, and
that's
that's
my
where it
bad.
should be. Interesting. And it wasn't in the settings. That was totally different. So I will find out. I'll see if I can do some research, because normally we can just put that in there. And I've seen signatures, so I know it can be done. I've seen fancy signatures with photos. Nothing's happening. That's
Perfect.
kind of weird.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, and I'm on Jennifer, so she should be able to add a signature. Interesting. So I have that on my list because I've seen fancy signatures. I just didn't realize we couldn't just put it right in there. Interesting. All right, and leads for me.
So Heather,
That's- Go ahead.
so basically, when we get a new lead, everything's going to be done by KV Core until it becomes active.
It's still going to try to get you to be involved in it somehow. It's super easy if, I don't know if everyone has downloaded the mobile app. I love the mobile
I
app.
have it.
Okay, it's gonna make it super easy to be able to find stuff and be able to work.
Because it didn't show me the property that this guy was looking at.
And what is, let's see, do you know his name or the person's? Let me see.
Corey, somebody. Hold on, I can tell you. Maybe I can.
Corey Hoffman.
Yep.
So let's see, he favorited a property event. New rule, not match, running default. Here is the property. It's, my eyes are
okay.
bad. So you can pin
Okay.
it, edit. And then it was assigned to you, did a validation run. Here's other, and he's a male in Sandusky, Ohio, probably
Good,
trying
you?
to get out of the snow. Let's see here.
So you're in the office, right?
Oh, let's see.
I just jumped on that
Oh.
goofy Zoom meeting.
Len, do you want to help mute? I
Oh,
can't do anything. There you go. Bill Doe, Corey Hoffman. So you see how it's even trying to pull in these links
Yeah.
and websites? Overlapping census. Okay, so that was kind of interesting. And if you're really curious, that's where, so email quality, it came over to him. He's on the new lead. You could always add property alerts. If once you've actually made contact with them, maybe that's a reason you could reach out to ask if he wants to be on property alerts. If you do everything through the system, that's where the smart number, it's a little confusing, but it is nice because everything is going to be put inside of here. So, like in app files, if you're emailing from your app file for each transaction, everything stays right in one place. So you just go to that file and everything's right there. That's really how this smart number works, is so that has no valid phone. So the phone number is not there. But if you send an email from the system versus sending it from your email, unless you have it synced, it's nice because everything stays in here. When they reply, it all comes right in here, and that just makes it super easy, especially once your pipeline starts getting fuller. It's super nice when everything is right here instead of going to search for it in your Gmail or here or there. So, so that's
And
all. Yeah.
One other question. When we are assigned a lead, it used to be that you had to accept or decline. Is that a situation, certain situations that will be the case, or no? Or they're just assigned to you?
I don't know, because it is so new. I haven't got any leads, but I am curious. So those that have received a lead, has it said? I don't think so.
It didn't. No, it just assigned it to me and I assumed, okay, that's fine. But what if I didn't respond to this person? I guess KV Core is. But if I didn't respond, what would happen to it?
It just sits there. What you could do also is if, let's see, you can come down here. If you wanted to share the lead with someone, maybe this is not your, maybe it's land and it's like, 45 minutes from you, but you have an agent that works land in that area. You could always share the lead with anybody in the office. So that
okay.
basically kind of shares it. We're working on if it's your own lead from your own website, you're able to just transfer it so you never see it. But it is nice that you can share a lead. That's really great if you're on vacation and all of a sudden one of these leads that was active kind of, they're looking at properties. It's super nice that you can go in and you can share a lead's information and the properties they're looking at with an agent who's covering for you while you're on vacation. So they have all their information and properties and can write notes of what they're doing while you're on vacation. So that sharing is kind of nice because you both can kind of see what's going on in the notes from each agent. The sharing to me is more like a vacation to do that, but you can, at least for right now, if you don't want that, to share it with an agent that works that, or, something like that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other questions like that as you guys are getting leads now? This is where you could add a note, send email, voicemail drop couldn't do because they don't have a valid phone number. Let's see here. This is also where you could maybe, it's a spouse, you could merge contact. If they send you an email or something that says unsubscribe, you could do that. You could do a lot of different things. You can turn off behavioral alerts. I would not do that until you've actually corresponded with them. Let's see, you could archive, you can do all sorts of different things. And we'll go over the pond. That's definitely more advanced. We haven't set that up yet. Super confusing as we're learning the system. But everybody understand kind of the client's journey and how that works and all the different tasks and property alerts and smart campaigns we can do for each of these leads. But I do love that it is trying to work the lead on our behalf because we are busy. It allows us to focus on income producing activities. The KV Core is going to give you tasks to help, obviously that personal human touch is going to be better than any artificial intelligence. So it wants to work alongside you. Think of it as an inside sales agent. So it's not, they're handling everything, but they are handling a lot, especially when they're brand new, to kind of weed out those looky-loos that are just went on there, created a lead, got the property information, and now they're done. They don't care. They don't want you. So it is nice that it helps work that lead for you to be able to do that.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other questions while we're on this topic before we go into squeeze pages? Nada? All right. So squeeze pages, it's a way to, so the squeeze pages and landing pages, totally different. Squeeze pages, how they say is it's squeezing people to be into your database. What that is mostly going to be, there's many different ways that we can build squeeze pages. One of the ones that I did most of the time was going to be on a multi-property. So this is what we would post like weekly, kind of like Feature Friday, check out the hot new listings in Stewart. So it's going to be a link that's always pulling in. We don't have to constantly change it. During the summer, I always ran like, splash into your pool home, so we start doing that around like May and June. Or you guys have golf, waterfront. So the sky's the limit on the types of multiple properties. We're trying to create a search to be somewhat specific, golf property, pool homes, waterfront. And I like to do kind of like a Feature Friday. It's just kind of like a post that we do on social. I also build squeeze pages when I'm running Google pay-per-click. So that way I can be very specific on the types of property I'm running ads for to get the kind of people that I want. So we're going to go ahead and create one. I personally, I love it now. They save all of these, but when I had KV Core, they didn't. So I have a cheat sheet that I use. So I kind of have my homework and I create squeeze pages. This is like the long, crazy link. This is the short link that I'll use for social. But I have the long link because you will be able to use these instead of having to figure out how to create squeeze pages yourself. You want to know how? It's pretty awesome. So here we have this long link. All you have to do is if I were to copy this and paste it, and then I have to go all the way to the beginning here. Obviously, I would tell you to, once I get done, you can copy my Google Drive and you can kind of save it as your own. But, and I don't know if it'll work on mine, but all I have to do is paste my domain instead of the office. And I don't know if it'll work because I'm in a different county, but that turns it into my squeeze page. And anytime I post this, it's going to generate leads for me. All you have to do is change where it has the office domain to your domain. And now it's yours to do whatever you want with, to post, to do whatever. So here's kind of like my homework. I will be going through, let's see, let me go to the office site real quick. I will be going through our featured city list. And then of course I will, once we get done with R4 and kind of get the basics, I will probably have a form for everyone's wish list of cities or areas that you want squeeze pages or landing pages built for. and I'll be able to do that for you guys. My homework off the bat is going to be covering all of these areas into here. I'll be doing just listed, just reduced, pool homes, and then seller reports and market reports. I love all of them. So I will have my homework cut out, and then we'll be sharing this. You can make a copy and then just change those domains. And now you have a full list of all of these squeeze pages that you'll be able to use, as well as landing pages. So we'll kind of get into that. A landing page is going to be different than a squeeze page. So let me come over here. I'm going to open up a squeeze page. So a squeeze page is basically a search, whatever we set up the perimeter wise, and it has the map. It's very similar to if you're coming over here. It's great if you're tracking because they're going to have specific hashtags, whereas this would just be hashtag office or your website. I want to know when I'm posting these to Facebook, I want to be able to track the leads that are coming from social media. So I'm setting up a squeeze page so that I can track that. Many people won't care. They just, I'll get the lead. I'm a tracking person. I want to know what works, what doesn't, what I can change. So this is, you'll see it's a search. Here's all the information. It's very specific. And I think I had put anything over 250 in Stewart and got this result. Whereas you can see here, if I go down to Stewart, I'm going to get a very different look and feel for the information. It has all of this kind of stuff and it has every subdivision, blah, blah, blah. So it's very specific to a search for your area. So that is a squeeze page where I have it on the second property because I can choose that and we'll make some. Where after they view 2 properties, that's when it's going to create that lead. Whereas it's different when you're doing a landing page. So here's like a seller's guide. Let me click up here. A landing page is truly a gateway to information. So in order for them to receive, in this case, the seller's guide, they have to give me at least their email. Then they're going to download the seller's guide. And I have, basically, it goes to Google Drive, the office's seller's guide. Does that make sense? So think of it, it's a lead capture. It's a gateway for information. So I decide, here I have a seller's guide, I have a buyer's guide and a home staging guide. In order for them to gain access to that guide, they have to provide me some information. That's where it's different than the squeeze page where it's, I'm just really getting specific and getting a search to be able to get information eventually. So that's where landing pages and squeeze pages are a little different. But again, all you have to do is change this prefix to your domain, just like we did with Jennifer right here. So we just took that, changed it, added hers. Now that's going to create a lead specifically for you. Bypasses the office. It's now yours. You didn't have to do anything. And it's like magic. It just happens. Now you can post it and start collecting leads, putting people in your pipeline. You get the difference between the two a little bit. Squeeze pages are a lot more fun to make. So here we have multiple property and let's see, I'm going to go ahead and put in Palm City. I'm going to get a drop down. There we go. I always choose city. You can choose, you'll see there's all sorts of neighborhoods and everything else. I'm just going to come up here, Palm City. And then you can choose listing type. So maybe you only want coming soons. Maybe you only want to send out a weekly open house list for people. I don't like leading people to other realtors. So, it's kind of weird. Townhouses, single family, maybe rentals, multifamily. If you work with investors, there's all sorts of different choices. I'm just going to do single family. Here's the different, all sorts of styles. So, ranchers, traditional, whatever it may be. If you really want to get, really tighten it on who you're trying to attract. Here you can have square foot, acreage, all of that. Walk store, I don't think that really applies to us. You can have a minimum price. So if you didn't want, prices under X to show, you can put that minimum price. I did this class yesterday for an office in New York. And I was like, well, in my area, I probably would do 250, although not sure you can really get a house for 250 anymore. And they laughed at me like 250, what? and they wanted 750 in that number. Like they would never even show a property under 750,000 where they're at. And I thought, wow. That seems crazy. It's so crazy, different areas, right? Like I guess a house in New York City for 750 is, I feel like I'm on HGTV. I'm a school teacher and I want $1 million house. But anyway, so you can do that. And then there's different options. This is where I would probably go in like pool homes, stuff like that, waterfront, golf courses, horse property for those that are equestrian agents, love all that, pool home, waterfront. So you can do all of these different choices in this search. So that way you're really narrowing down this page, this search page that we're going to be able to save. So I'm just going to leave the options empty. Source, I always put Facebook until I'm doing one specifically for Google, and then I'll put Google. So what'll happen is under that source, it's just going to have, FB for Facebook because I know that's where I'm posting them. Hashtags, this is where, let's see, Palm City, squeeze page over here. Squeeze page just listed. And I'm going to come back. Where am I? There we are. Hashtags. And I do want options just listed. I'm glad I saw that. So I have that. Now we have to choose the Facebook thumbnail that's going to appear when we post it to Facebook. So you have different options. So you have, and it's all going to be from our agency. And it's really just the thumbnail. It'll be different every time you post it. So it's either pulling from the, recent listings from the company, low price listings from the company. And I don't know that I would ever do that. High priced, I usually do high price listings because it's going to be usually a professional photo, or you could do random listings from the office. Or if you're doing this for your property, you could use a photo from one of your listings. Just know you wouldn't really be able to use this over and over again, because once that listing goes, closes, that won't pull up anymore. So I usually just do high price listings from the office. This is where you get to decide the property views before forced registration happens. So the default is 2. You could make it more like the landing page where it's forced registration to see the results. You would do immediate, or maybe you let them see that, look at, they can look at all the different properties. You get to decide. I like to keep 2, seems good. Now I'm going to go ahead and generate this link for me. And that's where I copy it and paste it into here. And then I'm going to copy the short link. And that's going to be for me to use. I just have the long link so that you guys can change that prefix right there and make this yours if you want to. So once I'm done with that, I'm good. So I can just continue on, keep doing different searches, generating links. Now I want to go over into the sold property. This would be the same thing. You could come over and do the same search, and it's only going to pull up sold property. I don't know when I would use that, but it's an option. So you could play with that. Single property, this will be good if it's your property. So anybody have, I don't have an MLS ID, but you would just start typing in the address or your MLS ID. Source, if I'm posting it to Facebook, I want it to be there. Maybe I want to add the same hashtag I have generated for that text code sign writer that I've already made that we covered last week. So I want it to be the same. I'm going to make it 123 Main Street. Again, property views. I want them, if usually you would do this for like an open house post. I want them to see my listing. It's when they go see someone else's listing, I want a forced registration. So I like the, default, especially if I'm trying to I want the most maximum eyeballs on my listing. So I may say 2 as the default. And then again, you're going to generate that link. And that's going to give you a single property site. And let me just, so we can, wrong page. Let me go to the office so I can find a listing that we can use. Well, that's pretty. All right, let's see. Oh, these are not ours. Let's see here. View details. And I am going to, where's the MLS number? And it's Randy's. We get to use Randy's as an example. All right, let me come back over here. There we go. So, and I'll do the hashtag is going to be hashtag 5152 flounder. Boom. Now I can generate the link. I have 2 hashtag generate link. Now I'm going to see what this looks like. So what is a single, this kind of like your property site. And because I just looked at a property, I have forced registration per the company settings. But you can kind of see what this kind of looks like, right? So I've already been on, I just saw his property. So now the same company, because I'm on that site, goes right in there. But it is nice. You could, if they had never been to your site, they click on it, you see all of your listings, where to find, the agent's information. I can print out a flyer. I can do all sorts of great things, but that's basically a single property. And then of course they have full access to my entire website, but I want them to land on my website. Great if you're having an open house or something. Everybody's so quiet. I know it's because you're muted, but is that cool? Thumbs up? Yes. Okay, awesome. All right, so now we're going over to Seller Squeeze, one of my absolute favorites. So I am going to add, because I'm going to add this. So, oh, wait, let me go over here. Because I'm going to add it for seller. So I'm going to copy. I like to be organized. So I add my hashtags ahead of time so that I have my checklist of everything I'm going to do. So let's see, Seller Squeeze page, city, there we are. So I'm going to go ahead and put in Stewart and it's going to populate there. I'm going to generate my link. See how fast that was. Let me go ahead and put these in here before I forget and come back over here. Get my short one for me. And I'm going to go incognito super quick. See what, so I don't get a force. It probably still will be though. Yep. So this takes you to the landing page. And what I absolutely love, and these are perfect for Facebook because this is kind of what they see. Stewart homes sell on the average of $1.16 million. What is your home worth? And then of course, all the nosy neighbors, well, what is mine worth? And they go put in their address, boom, you have a seller lead. It's so awesome. So those are great, super easy to be able to post onto social, schedule those out in Meta. You could schedule 3 months of content. So maybe every Wednesday you put in different cities. And we're going to have this all available for you. Just change that URL and start scheduling. And that will be one of our more advanced classes. Because I get all excited. I don't want to do it right now. But we just did a lot. So we've built out a couple squeeze pages. We've built out the seller squeeze. Market report. These are awesome too. So let me go ahead and put in Stewart. There, where's my city? And let me find my hashtag, my market reports. I like these if anybody's like the engineer brain and likes all the active, contingent, pending, sold data, and it's a live feed. So you can use these links over and over again because it's going to populate from the IDX. So it's awesome. So let me go ahead and Facebook, got my hashtag. Now I'm going to generate the link. And I'm going to come over here. Let's add this so you guys at least have this. And copy that from my short link. And let's come over here and see what happens. And it's going to make me register. So, and I think that's on the market reports, they put in their area and they're going to get all sorts of goodies. If I was on Jennifer's site, I would create like a lead, I think, just so we could see that. But if you have an email address separate from Remax or the one that's connected to your Remax, your spouse, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, all of above, create leads in your system so that you can see both sides, the agent and the consumer. We want you to be able to see both sides. Like what emails, what are those emails? What do those texts look like? So fortunately, I have a separate number, or you may have like a Google number or something like that. maybe put that in so that you can create a lead and see all of these cool tools that are available to the consumer and a way to build your pipeline and generate leads on your end. So any questions so far? Any questions? Is this cool stuff? You guys are too quiet.
I have a question.
Yes.
Once they register on our site, do we get their information or how does that work?
Absolutely. So once they register, it's going to be just like a lead on remax.com. You're going to be able to see, what were they doing? What activity were they doing that created a lead? So it'll say on the market report, it's going to be labeled with the hashtag as well. So it almost puts all of those leads into a little folder, making it super easy. And we don't really have hashtags yet, or I'd be able to see them here. We don't have, the lead generation and all that because we haven't done any of that, but it is super nice. It's going to basically tag everyone with this hashtag. So you'll know, oh, that was from the market report for Stewart is how that lead was generated. I know how to follow up with them. Or they were a seller lead. Now they're going to get on a drip campaign for sellers or for buyers, all that fun stuff. So it is cool. One, you'll know exactly where they were that made them generate that lead. Two, all the squeeze pages and landing pages that we create, we associate them with a hashtag. So they're like put in a separate little folder as well to keep better organized. Does that answer so far? Any other questions? And Glenn, I'm sure you did all this with your KV Core, right? Any questions, any insightful wisdom from you?
Actually, I just sent the question as if I was a pro at Zoom, and I'm not. I swear I'm looking around like, when did I become my dad? Well, that's goes without saying. So one is we want people to know we're not selling their data. We're not sharing their data. That's what our privacy agreement says. So I noticed there's a disclaimer down at the bottom that says Remax of Stewart may share this information and do all the things that we promised we wouldn't do. Can we simply remove that on our own?
Probably
Or-
not. Where did you see, and even on the other pages, it's either going to be I don't know if you have it on your KV Core or it's Remax,
Here, I just sent it
CYA
there.
for Remax's part. Maybe
Well,
what
I'm sure it's that, but we don't get very many people that actually log in when we offer something for free. And I'm pretty sure it's because they don't want to be harassed, or followed up, let alone by vendors and lenders and all the other things it says in there. So it's not an effective tool unless people know that they're working with you privately, in my experience.
I just know whenever I fill out those that it's just going to happen, and I mark them as spam. I could be interested. I mean, but I don't know, and that's when I give a different email address, so it kind of all that crap goes
Exactly, so
online.
people don't put in the right real information, and then you don't have a lead.
But that's where I love the text codes, because the text codes, when people text that, you're getting the accurate cell phone number because they're having to text from their number
Correct.
for them to be able to get that information. So for me, I absolutely loved the text code part. I still like these because I think we're just so used to filling these out, and it is what it is at this, at this point. And they don't have to give the cell phone. So on the landing pages I create, I don't put the cell phone as required just for that. Even though I like having the cell phone, it's one of our biggest issues. But when you're creating the landing pages, you can force the cell phone number on there. But we did great. And maybe, like most of the time we use these squeeze. Of course, I use them for, Google pay-per-click, but also a lot of the agents would use it for their farming areas. So these consumers have seen their signs, know who these agents are because they've been farming them for years and years. So maybe then they just feel a little more comfortable to use the text code, the QR code, or to go to those links and add in their information just because they're familiar with that agent maybe. But I'm sure there's a lot of different ways. You know, we don't like to give our information out, but at the same point, I can't even tell you how many times I fill out a form and I don't read any of, because I just know it is what it is, but I want the information. So it's almost like I want the information more than I'm gonna have to unsubscribe from all these emails or something.
Gotcha.
And heck, most of the time, like even when I was buying up here, I would have been thrilled if an agent would have called me back. So.
Well, it's partly that, yeah.
Have
Yeah.
you done any landing pages?
Yeah.
They're
We
not,
like the squeeze pages better. They bring a ton of Facebook leads into the system. But when we follow up, it's just like we put something else on Facebook. You get 100 people that click like. In this case, they're winding up in your KV Core database. And tell me more about what you're looking for. We're not. Yeah. So Facebook leads, in my experience, are the lowest on the totem pole. You've convinced us, start going pay per click in Google. So we're just starting that.
yeah, I definitely, from when I used to run all the Facebook and Google, we ended up cutting Facebook out completely. One, they're making it almost impossible to run ads. And two, they just were more looky-loos and just not really serious. Not when I was running the Google pay-per-click, they seem to be not 3 years out or just the looky-loo. So we stopped the Facebook ads. I have heard great things about the Property Boost. I'm not sure if you've tried that. I was going to actually try some and compare it to what we do with the Megaphone, just because I have heard, I mean, I know it's like twice as much, but I've heard great things from big teams that are using the Property Boost and having excellent results. But still, I'm the same way with Facebook, yet my brother bought a house because of an ad he saw on Facebook. It's like, oh, I love this house. Clicked on it and ended up buying it. They weren't even thinking of moving. So I don't know. I guess it could happen, right? I mean, he's
I think it's like anything else. I am by no means the strongest agent on Facebook. Some just are rock stars on Facebook. So, you know, it is what it is. And if you are getting amazing responses using your Facebook now, then that's the way to do it. Just keep it going. If not, copy other people's Facebook posts and do that, because
absolutely.
no, I mean, you know, if what do you care if it's like out of 500 responses a year, if you sell 1 or 2 homes, it was worth looking at 500.
As long as there's that positive return at the end,
Yep.
I guess that's what matters. So it's a
Yep.
matter of playing. And these I usually just do as posts. So it's not like I'm even spending money on it. It's just something for me to help drive traffic back to the website. And it's nice when I can really hone in on a specific city or, you know, golf or horse or pool. You're really getting to be able to be specific on what type of properties they're interested in. So when I get a new pool home listing in Stewart, I'm going to be able to easily send out that mass email to everybody that clicked on these because they're interested in pool homes in Stewart. I can click on them, let them know, hey, I just got a brand new pool home. I'm having an open house this weekend. Come join me, because you know they're interested in that specific of a property. So it is, I do like them in that aspect as we start to fill up the pipeline. Because they may be interested in that. So go into building landing pages, and I will let you know they are not fun to build at all. I will have to do this a couple times because I apparently click too fast and then it deletes whatever I'm doing. I don't know if you ever noticed that. It's kind of drives me nuts a little bit. So this is kind of the generic. I can lead generation. You have video view. That's if you have like a video you want people to be able to see. You have video plus lead generation. Then we have, come over here to, I'm not sure what content hijack is. Interesting. I don't know what that, I've never done that. Text lead, that would be if you're setting up those text codes that we went over last week, you could set up a landing page to text this. Then we have address capture. That's going to be more of like your home valuation type thing. Then we have Facebook chat. If you want to put in some sort of lead generation to generate Facebook messages. I definitely don't want to do that. Sometimes I just want to delete that altogether, but I'm just going to come over to lead generation. That is pretty much what most of us would ever use. So work your way up from the top, then to the bottom is we want a hashtag. So like, for example, well, I just did my 3 here. So I have my hashtag, what I want to use it for. So I'm just going to come over here and I'm just going to do test. Submit button. So we want a hashtag. So everybody who fills out this form gets labeled. That way we can follow up with them easily. We know exactly where they were, why the lead was generated, what they were looking for. So here I have a hashtag. Submit button is going to be this button down here. So maybe it's view my top tips now. If I can spell. Then you have to think ahead on what your purpose is. So it's going to be a lead generation. I have my hashtag set up so everyone's labeled. The submit is going to be once they give me their information, I'm opening the gateway to what? Maybe I have top 5 seller tips for the market right now, right? What I love is you could go into Canva, you could even do a search for something like that, change the logo, pretty much already done, save it as a PDF, or in Canva, you can even share the link for somebody to view online. Absolutely love it. It becomes a live document. So if you do make a change or, the market kind of shifts or makes a change, if you're using the URL for the shareable link from Canva, it's a live document. When you make a change on Canva, that's what somebody's going to see. I absolutely love that. So we have a gateway of information. Here I have, my top tips now. I enter the URL of wherever it may be. So that way, when they do this is what's going to happen. I'm opening the doors to what information? It's going to be that PDF. Do I want to require the phone? That's where it won't say optional anymore. In order to open that gate of information, they're going to have to at least email, or you have the option to have a cell phone or not. So maybe don't even bother if you're not going to give me a phone number. It may be 555-1212 because that's what I do. Background. I wish we could upload our own. I haven't quite, custom back. I was like, we used to be able to add our own background. Anyway, so here we have like a map. That doesn't really look like a map, but here's the lady. You have exterior. You can go through what is it going to work like for you. All these different options. Find the background that works for you. Maybe you have a beautiful area photo that you can use. These are happy people dreaming of my own home. So you pick the background that you like. Now I'm going to come over here. The lead type. Is this going to be a buyer? Is it a seller? Is it a renter, agent, vendor, or it's nobody? So you get to decide what kind of lead is this? It needs to know as far as, what drip campaigns, smart campaigns is going to be on. I want to be able to have it labeled. So this, if it's my top 5 seller tips, it's going to be the seller. So now I have to come over here and edit this text. That is where the not so fun part is. This is the default. I don't know how to change all of this text. I know how to get rid of it. I double click on it and it disappears forever and I can't do anything. So I have to be very careful when I'm editing what's already in place here. Let's see. My top 5 seller. Oh, I thought that was all caps. Just got a new keyboard. Let's see. Top 5 seller tips. Let's see. So whatever you want to add in there. Obviously, if I'm doing that, this doesn't make any sense. But if you have bullet points of what your PDF actually includes, you may want to add that right here. Just change the topic, add a little something to the bottom. You can just edit the text that's there. If it doesn't make any sense, double click, double click, double click, double click. Now, once I do that, I don't know how to get it back. That's the fun part about these landing pages. So now I'm done. I can save, and it's going to let you know it capture the URL it's going to give you because you cannot find it anywhere else. So when I click on save, it's going to say you cannot edit or do anything once you click this link, and it's nowhere to be saved. So that's where I have the Google spreadsheet, so I can save any of these URLs. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to say, okay, now I have the link. Now I'm done. Good to go. I would save that right in my landing pages so I never lose my links. Everybody understand that? All of a sudden, all the faces disappeared. Thanks, Jen. Oh, you're on there twice. So I know that was, how do I find my login for KV Core? To get into KV Core, you're going to go straight to remax.net and click on Max Tech powered by KV Core. That'll take you straight over into KV Core. You're just using your Remax login credentials. The same when you click on download the app, when you send yourself that link to download it from the App Store, you're using your Remax login credentials to get into that app. You can also save this URL into your bookmarks, the app.kvcore.com, to be able to get straight into KV Core and bypass Max Center. And let's see if there's any others. Okay. Okay, Karin was able to add her signature, so interesting. Can't do that. All right. You guys got awfully quiet. Okay, somebody unmute and ask me a question, unless I just have a bunch of pictures and black boxes because I've already bored everybody.
All I can say is help.
Well, that's a good thing, is I like to show you I have all this, but this is my homework so that I can create these all for you. And then you just
Good.
change the link. And then we'll also, so once I get done with all the cities that we have, I'm going to be making a form for a request for you guys to be able to add what you want. I'm just kind of doing the basics. But of course, at any time, if you're like, I really have this great idea, I've got this PDF, this guide, I really want to be able to, use a landing page, and how can we think outside the box? That's when you would just click Zoom with me and we'll get that, we'll do it together.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Unmute. I can't. I saw your lips. I don't hear you though.
How's that?
There you go. I was like,
For the last week's lesson, the text. So on the sign, we put a special text. It goes to our general number here at Remax.
Smart number.
Yeah, the smart number.
Mhm.
And then it comes us directly because that's our text. Okay, but that smart number is the number we always use.
when you're setting up the text code, that's all you're able to do is set up those text codes via that smart number. It is awesome though. I mean, awesome. To be able to create, by me or this or that. I love how it comes across. So somebody's driving by. Now you don't have to worry about everyone stealing your flyers. What's perfect, you create, by me to your smart number for pictures and text. Now somebody's, your nosy neighbors are, instead of taking your flyers that have 4 or 5 pictures, they're getting all that information by just texting by me to the smart number. You have it attached to that listing. They're getting all the photos, all the information, and your information for that specific property. You have the correct information because they have to use their cell phone to text. So that's fantastic. And what I love even more is that one goes under contract. And then 2 weeks later, maybe because you've actually followed up with the nosy neighbors that have all done that, you're listing the neighbor's house. Now you can actually send a mass email to everybody who was interested in that property because it was 123 Main Street. Now you have 582 Main Street. you can send a mass email to everybody that liked 123 Main Street to let them know, I have a brand new listing in the neighborhood. You showed interest in 123 Main Street, very similar home. I'm having an open house this weekend. I'd love for you to come by and visit.
But you
It's
wouldn't
super-
have their email, you'd have their phone number, correct?
I'd have their phone number. So I
you
would,
can text
I would do a mass text.
There you go. All right.
Absolutely. And some may, as you're engaging with them, because it kind of puts them on that smart campaign, maybe reach out asking if they want to be set up on a property alert for similar homes. So there's super easy way once you have that cell phone number, obviously they're going to be put into that new lead drip. So it's going to try to engage with them and ask them questions, but it's also great for you to be able to reach out and, hey, you showed interest in 123 Main Street. Would you like me to set up a property alert so you get notified as soon as something in that area hits the market?
Okay.
It's just a nice way for you to be able to reach out to them and follow up because they're interested in a certain property. But I can also have different campaigns. Maybe I have new construction or I want to send a message. So I could set up I could set up a squeeze page or pool homes or equestrian. I can do whatever I want, right? I can set up a squeeze page. I have that URL. Like I have a URL right here. So let me see, custom text code, Stewart. I can spell pool. So maybe I say text Stewart pool
To our smart.
to my smart number. It's, it automatically is, obviously every office has a different smart number. So, which is great because then you can't have duplicate codes for each number because it's obviously as soon as someone grabs it, that's under them. That's where that's going. So I may have a message, thank you for your interest in, Stewart Pool Homes. Here's a link to get the latest activity. It updates automatically. By the way, when are you looking to move? Always, 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 if you're going to have any sort of a text or anything, probe and ask a question at the end to try to get them to respond. But you can use this short link for the text code. So thank you, blah, 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 blah. Here's the link. It's active, it'll constantly update, check it, whenever you want, and then ask a question at the end. You're going to put in a different hashtag for the text code or whatnot. And then you have the smart number. You'll only have one smart number unless you've bought your own. Now you can even put this in your email signature. You can put it on your postcards, like the postcard I showed last week. There's so many, the sky's the limit. I love the text codes because number one complaint on online leads is I got a Mickey Mouse phone number, and the text codes almost 100% ensure you're getting an accurate and a true phone number because they want the data. They're texting that code, but it's great because you can use that on your signature, flyers, anything like that.
Very good.
You work a certain subdivision or anything like that, you may be able to, even do like a larger area, or when you do your mass mailings, put a couple of those on there. That's what we do for the subdivisions. Not bored. Thank you. Just don't see your pretty face. All right. Ginny, I can send you the last login I have, but I know that's always kind of like a issue. But yeah, you just log right into remax.net, click on this Max Tech, or you can do a search for it. That's going to take you straight into your KV Core platform. Anything else? Because that was a lot today. That was a ton of stuff. And then next week is going to be kind of like a mastermind kind of overview of everything we've learned, your homework by next week. Hopefully you have done all of the assignments so far, making sure you do not have any more bubbles, any checklists in your agent checklist. Make sure you have downloaded the mobile apps, including the Open House app that you have. Make sure you have gone through the lead engine. You've created one text code and you've built at least a squeeze page. I'm not going to say you have to build a landing page because those, a lot of gray hair can happen because it's very tricky. That's what I'm here for. So I can get the gray hair and just do it for you. There's a lot of different things, but do that. And just remember, under like Company Cloud or even up here, we have lots of different resources. So this is going to take you to our hub of information. You have past recordings, or you can register for any upcoming Max Tech trainings. And that's all those Max Tech trainings are specific to Remax and KV Core. So just know we have a lot of different resources available to you. Take advantage of that. You can come over here. I always say go straight to that learning portal, finish the agent quick start. Just have your coffee, do 20 minutes every morning, and you'll be done within at least a week. It's going to give you great insight on everything KV Core. I think that's it. We actually went over our hour. Ugh, I'm like a blabbermouth. I get excited and I can't help myself.
Thanks, Heather.
You're welcome. And don't feel, most agents are going to use 25% of everything we have in here. It's just a matter of finding out what tools are going to actually work for your business and use those. Don't overcomplicate it. We want to make sure you understand the dashboard, since that's where the leads are funneling in. Some will never use the text codes, never use the squeeze page, never use Property Boost, may not use the awesome playbooks. I think everyone could use the playbooks, but there's a lot of things agents will never touch. The idea of all these classes we're doing is just to show you what's out there and what you may be interested in adding to your business and help you work smarter, not harder, and maybe even eliminate programs you're paying for a third party because KV Core does it for you. So don't be overwhelmed by the amount of tools. We don't expect anyone to use all of them. You'll only use 25%. Very few will use more than 25% of everything that's in here. We just like to do a nice overview so that you're aware of what's out there. And then you'll be able to Zoom with me and we can really dive deep and work together on putting, whatever system it is that you like into your business. So don't feel you're overwhelmed. It is overwhelming. There is so much in here. Just know these are just, nice overview just to kind of show you some really cool tools that I absolutely loved. And we can work together to add them into your business. We don't expect you to understand everything at all. So don't get too overwhelmed. And that's it. Of course, once we get the Zoom recording, it's going to go up. I have all the past recordings in your Agent Hub on the Max Tech tile. So we just constantly add those in there. I am working on kind of like a quick overview of every class that we've done, just to kind of put them in bite-sized nuggets. And I will be those will be added onto these videos soon. I just started doing that this morning. So I just did one for brokers. That seems to be the number one. So we're going to add the Zooms here. We'll be adding a lot more baby nuggets, breaking everything we're doing into little teeny bite-sized nuggets for you now that I finally have access to my account. So all good. And then next week is just more of a general overview mastermind, the good, the bad, the ugly. Let's work together and answer any questions. And we'd like to have a good idea of what you would like me to dive deeper into for March, because we're looking for March class ideas, and other than maybe the website or something like that, I'm just not 100% sure where we need the most help or what's most interesting to everybody, so that we can make sure to cover those. And then so next week, we have one more week and then we go to Vegas. That's right. One more week, then Vegas. Woo, woo. Party time.
All right, guys. Thank you. Thanks, Heather.
Bye, guys. Enjoy the warmth while I'm freezing up here. I got to put my heaters back on now.